Hey, Jason here from Simply Swider. If your Bosch dishwasher is showing that frustrating Watertap error or E15 code, you're in the right place. I'm going to walk you through the exact steps to fix these issues yourself. And the best part, most solutions take under an hour and cost less than $50, saving you hundreds on a service call. Before we get started, if you run into any questions, jump into our Facebook group. Links in the description. We've got thousands of people helping each other fix their appliances, and I pop in there daily to help out. So the most common cause I see is some kind of flow restriction. Basically, water can't get to your dishwasher properly. You'll know this is happening when that water tap symbol pops up on the display and the machine just sits there not filling. Here's what's usually going on. The supply hose behind the unit gets kinked or twisted. The little filter screen in the inlet connection gets clogged with debris, or your house water pressure is just too low. Here's how we fix it. You'll need needle nose pliers, a small brush, and about 15 minutes. First, pull that dishwasher out about 6 inches and visually inspect the supply and drain hoses for any kinks or sharp bends. Straighten them out if you find any. Next, turn off the water supply valve under your sink and unplug the machine for safety. Remove that inlet hose and you'll see a small mesh filter screen. Carefully pull it out with needle nose pliers and scrub it clean with a small brush under running water until all debris is removed. While you've got the hose off, test your household water flow by running the tap into a bucket. You want at least 10 liters per minute for proper operation. Another common culprit is the water inlet valve itself going bad. This valve controls all the water flow into your dishwasher, and when it fails, you can get two different problems. Either it won't open at all, so no water gets in and you get the water tap error, or it gets stuck open and overfills the machine, which triggers that E15 flood protection code. I had this customer last month whose valve was working intermittently, so sometimes the dishwasher would fill fine, other times it wouldn't fill at all. Really frustrating situation. Here's how you'll know it's the valve. The dishwasher starts its cycle but never fills with water, or you might notice water continuously flowing into the machine even when it's supposed to be off. Sometimes you'll find crumbled rubber pieces from your under sink shutoff valve that have broken off and are blocking the dishwasher's supply line. The fix is replacing that inlet valve. It's not too complicated if you're handy with tools. Just make sure you disconnect the power completely before you start working on it. This one's really common on the newer 800 series models with that crystal dry feature. Water leaks from internal components into the base pan and triggers the flood protection system. Here are the telltale signs. Your drain pump runs continuously for more than 10 minutes, even when the dishwasher should be off. You might also notice yellowish or cloudy water pooling in the base tray. You can check this by carefully tipping the machine forward slightly or removing the bottom front panel. Warning, always unplug the unit before tipping or removing panels. Here's the thing, a lot of times it shows up as a water tap error initially, then switches to E15. The usual suspect is this plastic nut that holds the zeolite vent cap inside the tub. It's right there in the back right corner, looks like a little triangular cap. That plastic nut cracks over time from the heat and hard water, and boom, you've got a leak. Here's the fix. Unplug the machine completely, then carefully tip it or use towels to soak up all that standing water from the base tray to reset the float switch. Pop off that triangular vent cap and check if the plastic nut underneath is cracked or loose. You can replace just that nut. It's part number 100149887 or 00636865. Way cheaper than replacing the whole zeolite assembly like some techs will try to sell you. The flow sensor is this clever little device that uses magnets to count how much water enters the machine, but when it fails, your dishwasher gets confused about water levels. What happens is the machine starts filling normally, then stops partway through the cycle and throws either the water tap error or sometimes an E18 code. The internal reed switch contacts get corroded or the little glass component inside cracks, so it can't accurately measure the water flow anymore. I remember this guy who called me because his dishwasher would work fine for a few cycles, then randomly stop mid-fill. Turned out the flow sensor was sending intermittent signals. Here's how to test it. You'll need a multimeter to check the read contacts while manually spinning the internal wheel. A working sensor should alternate clearly between a short circuit when closed and open circuit when open, if it's giving you inconsistent readings or no reading at all. Time for a replacement flow sensor. Sometimes the water tap error isn't about water coming in, it's about water not going out fast enough. When the drain pump gets clogged or starts failing, water backs up in the sump area, and the machine thinks there's a fill problem. You'll notice this because water doesn't completely drain 10 to 15 minutes into the cycle, and then the machine stops with that water tap error. The weird thing is, if you hit the cancel drain function, it'll usually pump the water out fine, which tells you the pump works, but it's struggling during normal operation. Here's what you do: unscrew and remove that filter unit at the bottom of the tub, then use a teaspoon or small tool to unclip the pump cover. Check the impeller area for any debris. I found everything from broken glass to chunks of food in there. Also, check your drain hose with a shop vac to make sure there aren't any partial blockages that could be causing back pressure. All right, so the water tap error on these Bosch dishwashers can actually be caused by several different things. Some are super simple, like a kinked hose or clogged filter, while others involve actual component failures. I'm going to walk you through all the common causes, starting with the quick fixes and working our way up to the more involved repairs. Most of the time, one of these solutions is going to get you back up and running. The water inlet valve, also called the aquastop valve, controls water flow into your dishwasher using an electromagnetic solenoid. Parts typically cost between $46 and $150 for most models. For the best prices, I recommend checking PartsStarter, Affordable Appliance Parts, or even Walmart online. Pro tip: search using your exact model number to avoid buying the wrong valve. They're not universal. This is definitely worth fixing yourself if you're comfortable with basic plumbing. It's not too complicated, mostly just disconnecting hoses and electrical connections. The tricky part is making sure you don't have upstream issues like debris in your supply line before you replace the valve. Don't ask me how I know this, but I've seen plenty of cases where someone replaced a perfectly good valve because they didn't check for blockages first. The flow sensor runs about 33 to 35 bucks for the part, which is pretty reasonable. What's cool about this one is sometimes you can fix it just by replacing the cheap internal reed switches instead of the whole sensor assembly. You can usually find these at appliance parts dealers or order them online. It's a moderate difficulty repair. You'll need to access the water circulation path, which means pulling off some panels and possibly disconnecting hoses. The testing part requires a multimeter, but if you're handy with basic electrical troubleshooting, it's totally doable. Way cheaper than paying a tech to diagnose and replace it. Here's a great example of how you can save serious money with a simple part. The plastic nut that causes all those E15 leaks costs about 20 bucks. Part numbers 100149987 or 00636865. But here's the kicker. A lot of techs will try to sell you the entire zeolite container assembly, which runs over $100. Total ripoff when you just need that little plastic nut. This is definitely a DIY repair. You literally just pop off the triangular cap inside the tub and replace the cracked nut. Takes maybe 10 minutes. Pro tip from our Facebook group: some folks have found metal replacement nuts that last way longer than the original plastic ones. If you need to replace the drain pump, you're looking at about 123 to 137 for the part. Before you buy one though, definitely try cleaning out any obstructions first. Probably 80% of pump problems are just debris blocking the impeller. The pump itself is pretty accessible once you remove the filter assembly, and it's a straightforward replacement if you need to go that route. This falls into the moderate DIY category, not too complicated, but you'll be working in tight quarters under the machine. Before we wrap up, you can see right there on your screen the most common Bosch models that run into these Watertap and E15 issues. Take a look. You might even spot your own model number up there. The 800 series models with crystal dry technology are especially prone to that zeolite nut cracking issue we talked about, while some of the older HX series have more problems with inlet valve failures. Don't worry about memorizing all those model numbers. Just check if yours is among the ones displayed. That's how you tackle the Bosch dishwasher water tap error and E15 codes. Here's your action plan. First, check for kinked hoses and clean the inlet filter. This fixes 60% of cases. Second, test your water pressure and inspect for leaks in the base pan. Third, if you're still getting errors, test the inlet valve and flow sensor. Most of the time, you'll find the culprit in step 1 or 2, and you'll be back to clean dishes in under an hour. If you guys know someone who's having appliance troubles, please send them the link to this video or a link to my channel where I have tons of other videos showing how to fix pretty common issues with appliances, sometimes for free or as little cost as possible. It sure beats having a repairman come out and spending several hundred for them to fix it when it could be something so simple. If this helped you get your dishwasher working again, hit that like button and drop a comment below. Let me know which fix worked for you. Really helps other people with the same problem. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. We'll get this out to more folks who need to save some time and money. Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day.